Hey everybody, welcome back to the House of L. I'm Derek.
And I'm Luke Bugg, the Geek of Steel.
Hey Luke Bugg, the Geek of Steel, how are you?
I'm very well. Missing these chats, so I'm glad that we found some time in our busy schedules to do this.
It's so funny, I feel like we talked every day on the phone or got on mic or at some point in the months leading up to July, and then we haven't had a chance to catch up.
And just
as much
the summer of Superman that we've been waiting for so long,
which has turned into the autumn of Superman. And
still going on. Fun fact: today is the 27th. Today, finally, the film has been released on physical media in the UK today.
I've seen a lot of people posting their steelbook copies. Were you able to secure one?
I secured mine. Didn't arrive today. Quite a few emails have gone out to representatives, but never mind. C'est la vie.
Hope yours doesn't arrive destroyed like mine did.
Yeah, I saw that. It wasn't just destroyed. It was like, it was not
just crushed.
Good.
It was crushed, and one of the discs was crushed as a result. The 4K, not the Blu-ray. The 4K was. So I emailed where I got it from and was like, hey, because they're very hard to get over here. I don't know how it's been over there, but it's been like just insane to try and get a copy here. This is the Fortress Steelbook. If anybody listening's wondering, it's a slipcover of the gate of the fortress, but mine arrived highly damaged, and I emailed the company, whose name I won't say, Walmart, and they're like, sorry, we don't have any more. We'll refund you. So I guess I got the money back, and I got to keep the damaged steelbook. I was able to track down a copy of the steelbook from Spain, which is a very cool cover that we're not getting anywhere in America. And I don't believe you guys got one either, which is David standing in the doorway of the fortress from a shot from the inside with the door opening, and it's very cool looking. And then there's also another steelbook. Have you seen the one of Clark with like a Superman silhouette? It's
the silhouetted one, yes.
With the silhouette one with him very small in the front. I haven't been able to track that one down yet. So I think that's Japan or maybe South Korea. I can't remember. Neither here nor there. Anyway, so I do have a steelbook that at least I'm proud of, but I'm on the hunt. If anybody has a lead on a Fortress steelbook, please
make it happen.
Let me know. Yeah,
even though we've already got it on digital, we've got it on everything else. Yeah, I know the process. I know it's this whole case of keep physical media alive, but the completionists they know that we will pay that money for that item, which is a bit cheeky, but fair play to them.
That's the future for you. The future was supposed to be cool like the Jetsons, and it's not like.
There's no conveyor belts here.
No, not whatsoever. How are you? What's going on with you?
I'm good.
You've been so busy, and we haven't had a chance to connect.
As we had
We've
the summer of Superman as flown by, a date that we were waiting for so long, and we were both getting up to all sorts of shenanigans and adventures and pinch me moments, and then we have the rest of the world.
Pinch me moments.
I know. I was looking back, trying to make a little scrapbook a while ago. I'm thinking, this really happened. This really was the year, not just the summer of Superman. So that's been taking all that in, and then just riding the wave of being, we've always enjoyed being a Superman fan. That's why we do what we do.
Right.
But it felt stronger this year. The connection to the character and to that magical word legacy. We keep on going back to that because when everyone's talking about Superman in a positive way, we're like, yeah, you get it now. That's the character that we've loved for so long. And
that's where we've been this whole time.
That's it. We've all been there. It's fantastic. We've left our phantom zone. That's it. You're seeing the light, as it were. But it's been fantastic to talk with people around the world and enjoy this movie and theorize about the future of the franchise and debate over some of the good and the bad about this film. But it's just been, collecting wise and just being a fan wise, it's been a fantastic summer. I'm not sure who coined that summer of Superman, but boy, did it work, because I don't think
I think we did. I think you and I did, and then I think DC was like, "Oh, we'll use that," because I feel like we were saying it way in advance.
It did happen quite early on,
We'll
didn't it?
we'll
So
claim it.
we'll
We're
claim it. We'll we'll
ambassadors.
we'll go back to the episodes and find out what's going on. But no, yes, we both had a fantastic year, and for the future, again, looking bright for Superman and DC Comics and comics in general. Comics are having a boom, and that's always fantastic to see. Wonderful stories, old stories coming back. There's more books. Again, you sent me another link yesterday for that book that's coming out next year, another Absolute Superman collection. They
Can
are
can we
stacking up
stop can we
side
stop
beside
spending
me.
money?
I know, just before Christmas as well. Thanks, DC. But and I've heard there's gonna be more encyclopedias, especially another one that's
Mhm,
possibly in the works from Insight Editions, which it hurts, but I know that I'm gonna
mhm.
buy it because their books are just delicious with
I
everything
know,
that
and
they
I'm
do.
I'm
And not
anxiously
even
awaiting that the art of the film book,
yes,
hopefully before
that's
the end of the
soon.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's soon as
December, I
well.
believe. So,
But after that, just as we are getting over that summer, James Gunn comes out and announces Man of Tomorrow, and then there's more speculation about Superman's appearances in that and everything else as well. It's been one of those years that just if you stepped away from a computer screen for 5 minutes, you would miss some
you
exciting
missed
news.
something, absolutely, and then we obviously Peacemaker followed. Superman, we had Nicholas Hoult, cameoing in there in addition to other, actors, Lexus Henchman from the film, so that was awesome, and leading up to Supergirl, now we've got Lanterns on the horizon, so many things going on that side of things, and then just I mean, it's we've just had, the 24th anniversary of Smallville this month,
Yes.
which is insane. We are now going into the 25th year of that. We've got huge plans next year for the 25th anniversary. I'm so excited to be returning to host Salute to Smallville Year 3 in Nashville next November, which is more than a year away. They pulled the rug out from under me on this one because year 1 was in um, October, and then year 2 was September, and it was like, oh, we don't have to wait as long, and now we have to wait even longer for year 3 in November, and some other Smallville stuff going on that I can't yet talk about, but I'm so looking forward to and excited about. And yeah, it's been incredible. So, let's talk. We've had interconnected experiences this summer, but not the exact same ones. So I wanted to kind of
No.
go back and forth about just what is has been so memorable for you. I mean, you got to talk with James Gunn.
Yes.
You got to tell me about getting thrown off the Shard.
So
Uh,
that was yeah, that's something that I've always thought about. If I get an email that ever asks me to do something exciting or new or dangerous, um, the geek of steel, that persona takes over and says yes. And I'll worry about the rest later. I've dealt with anxiety now for decades.
yeah,
I'm a pro with it by now. But yes,
yeah,
we were invited to go to London for Warner Brothers UK for some very exciting events with some fantastic surprises. So it started with there was Daily Planet pop-up news booths all over London, which
right.
I just felt I was in America and Metropolis when I saw my first one. This one was beneath, I say it was in London with the Shard, and that's where they had the giant Superman statue above of that. So the closest I got to David Corenswet this year was in a cinema, but also he was very high up on top of a very high building with some of the other cast of Superman. And so I went to London for that, got some Daily Planet newspapers and some swag, and just hung around all day with Superman fans in London.
And it was hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
London is rarely warm, but it seems to be
yeah,
warm on those days when I'm there with a bag full of swag. But it was that was a great day, and from that we went to HMV where James Gunn did a Q&A, which
that's right.
was quite personal. There weren't that many people there, and we got to hear him talk about music and storytelling for about an hour, which was fantastic. And then the next day went back to London for it was the Superman fan event, which is where they played 30 minutes of the film,
Hmm.
which was like just enough to sort of really tease us. That was just enough. But to be in Leicester Square for that was fantastic. I've been fortunate enough to be there for a few red carpet events, but for this being Superman, it was just so much fun to see lots and lots of people in Superman costumes, classic and new and variations. And I was just, and this was like a Comic-Con for Superman. I was like, this is almost as good as the Superman celebration. And there's a fantastic picture because I thought, if I'm going as a Superman ambassador, I need to be suited and booted. So I donned on my suit with various pins, and there was a great photograph taken of me speaking with, I think, 5 Superman cosplayers.
Ah, I
And
remember that. Yeah, yeah.
there's one photo where it looks like I'm giving a pep talk. The
Huh.
next, it's like I'm sort of conducting a barbershop quartet of
You kinda look
Supermen.
like Grandpa Simpson on the hill talking and talking
That's it.
to
It's just
talking
that
to the
was my
kids.
moment. I was passing on the legacy to the new
Yeah,
fans that were coming.
yeah,
And yes, and then we got to see 30 minutes of the film introduced by James and the Gang, which was just great to be in that theater for that. Even just 30 minutes feeling the hype and the excitement for this film, and just seeing so much love for Superman at the same time was beautiful.
sure, sure.
And then, yes, the next day was the day that I was both excited and not really sure about, because there's a big building in London called Canary Wharf, with a big needle type point on top. Very tall, very beautiful. And I did a zip line off that with other members of the sort of what we call the DC family here in the UK. Boy, it was fun. It was
Yeah.
scary. Never
It is
done
the
anything.
tallest building in London, right?
Correct.
The
Correct. I
second
think
tallest, I don't know what the second tallest is, but my buddy, best friend Graham was in London last week and was doing the Gordon Ramsay, like, cooking school on, like, the
nice.
63rd floor or something, and he was like, "I'm looking right at on the 63rd floor, and I'm looking right at the Shard, which is even taller." He was like, There was
That's a
a
big one.
lot
But
going
yeah,
on there." Yeah.
and so yeah, so this was like they were calling them the flight of Superman.
Mhm.
And wow, we had Superman jumpsuits on. I didn't get to keep that. I was livid. But we were there donned. We had some photographs with capes, and then we had to sign lots of waivers. We got in
In
this
case
lift.
you die. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case. Just in
In
case.
case you
Just a
plummet.
minor.
Yeah.
But we went up in this lift, and like when we came out, it was beautiful. It was just an empty. There was it was clearly sort of used for offices, and there were only a few tables being used by, guessing, from people from DC Comics and Warner Brothers. And we could see people going off the roof. And we were like, okay, we're not actually on top yet. We've still got another lift to get into.
There's another elevator ride.
Yeah. But we did the safety talk. It was great. We had yeah, and another safety talk.
What is the safety talk at that height? Like, what is, if they tell you something goes wrong, what do you do?
Well, it was a fantastic team. They really looked after us. And they used a David Corran Sweat Superman large action figure to tell us how to hang, how to drop ourselves over the edge, what to do with our arms as well. And I admit, when I first got out, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it, because they didn't force you to do it. You could step back at any moment.
Well,
And
sure.
I was like, I'm up here
No,
now.
wait,
And like,
what did you sign? You had to do it.
I had to do it. I was
It's
forced.
contractually obligated.
But they said, if you want to back out, you can. I was like, well, like this is real Superman ambassador stuff. I'm doing this for Superman. I have to. And I thought the pain of regret of not doing it would just haunt me for my days. So did all the paperwork, watched a few people dive off the top and just see their footage, and thought this was so much fun. So yeah, and then the GoPro just got planted straight on front of the head. I was like, okay, this is going to be really documented. Must not swear. I didn't. I'm quite proud of. There is an uncut version of like 8 minutes of footage of me just shaking, I think.
What I do love, though, and I have to, this is a testament to you, as long as I've known you now. I watched everybody's that did it, everybody that posted theirs. I saw all theirs, and it was just, excitement and pretending to be Superman and all that. You are the only person who actually turned it into an advertisement. And yeah, because you're sailing, you do the woohoo, and everybody's like, I could still hear him from the tower. But once you get about halfway through down the zip line, you start promoting the film.
Yeah. I
As
know
like
why I'm
you're like
being invited.
you're like it's cinemas, this, and I'm like, just a minch, just like that was you to a T. Like, you were
I
literally
mean,
on that. I
I took over.
Where
It's
my
in there.
mind would have gone, I don't know. You're like, the momentary scariness, I guess the momentary heart attack for me would have been,
It was 20, I think, it's
fine.
about 20 seconds for the whole thing. I didn't use the
But
footage
felt
from
like
before.
so much longer.
It really did as well. But I mean, look, it was a fantastic day. The day before, a few people had to not do it because it was too windy. We had perfect weather for it, which was like a blessing as well. But like you could really see everything, including how high up it was. And when we got into the second elevator and we opened these doors up, it was a gorgeous day and fantastic clouds. I kind of thought, why are all these jumbo jets flying really low? I was like, oh, I was like, they're not really low. We're just up really high.
You're just
This is,
really high.
we're just really high. So I was clinging on to the wall as we walked round, looking over the edge. And there were a few reps there who I recognized just hanging out, leaning against the side of this roof, watching people jump off it. I was like, why are my legs just they're moving, but they're going really slow?
Start getting pushed.
Yeah, no, it was. And then I there were 3 of us. It was me, Paul from DC World, and Jeremy from All on the Board. And we all turned up and they were like, "Right, who's going first?" And I was like, "Paul's going first." I said, "Sorry, Paul, but you're going first." He was lovely.
Oh!
He's done zip wires before. Jerry was after me, bless him. He sang a song that he made up as he went down there.
Nice.
But as always, he's just so cool and calm. It was absolutely wonderful for him. But then it was my turn to jump off this building, as it were, just having a chat with everyone. I was shaking hands and saying thank you and calling people sir. And the guy said, like, "Don't call me sir." And I was like, I need to give you as much respect as possible. You've literally got my life in your hands. I don't want to upset you. But
Like, I'm gonna call you whatever I'm gonna call you because I can't handle more information right now, like being told new information. I'm
that's
trying to
it.
retain the David Corn Sweat action figure, what to do if I die,
I remember some of it. It was
information.
just more about sitting still and then going into a push-up position. I had to ask him what a push-up was, and then we got just he said, "Put your hands on the floor and hold on to this fake AstroTurf grass." I was like, I was doing that and then not letting go. Then they open up. Everything was all very secure and attached, and they opened up this gate, and then they're like, "Right now, just crawls forwards. Just push yourself forwards." I was like, I cannot move. I am frozen to the ground." So they gave me a pep talk, said, "You're gonna be fine. This is safe." And then, yeah, 3, 2, 1, they lifted me up and then gravity took over and off I went, and literally the Geek of Steel took over, promoting Superman, promoting Jerry and Joe, saying, "Go to the cinemas this Friday." And then got to the other end and just the adrenaline was there for the rest of the summer. So
That's the footage I would have liked to have seen is you on getting off on the other
there's
side
some. I'll find
and
some just for you.
disconnecting. Oh, do you have
There's
some?
I've got yeah, there's
I didn't
about
see that.
I
Yeah.
didn't share that one. It was
No.
just me shaking and hugging
Yeah, you gotta
everybody
send
around
that
me.
to me.
And there was just a paramedic just sat down, like she was like chilling out. And I was like, "You okay? You just sitting there having a chill?" She said, "You don't want me to be working, really. You want me to be just sat
You
back
want me to
doing
be
nothing.
doing this.
This is what you want me to be doing." I was like, "Very true." And from that, we were then going to James Gunn Q&A.
Yeah.
Just for the day to get even more exciting and surreal. So we left there, had I think then I had breakfast. This was about 12 o'clock. I was like, I need to have at least something to eat this morning. So I just had like a coffee and a piece of toast.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted anything in my stomach before
No, because there was
before that.
it's a busy foreground underneath. I didn't want to get anybody, yeah. But
Can't even
straight from
imagine.
there, back to the hotel to get scrubbed up and headed off to another James Gunn Q&A, which was this one was a bit more personal. This was with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it was just an incredible experience because over those 3 days of doing so many exciting things, I got to hear James Gunn talk about his story, his project, and each time it was a different anecdote, a different story, a different reason why he loved this film and why we were going to love it as well. And yeah, we sat down. I was over the moon about that, and he looked out and said, "Oh, hey, I know you," and I was like, "To me," and I was like, "This, I've just jumped off a building. I'm still trying to find reality, and now James Gunn recognizes my very excitable face." And it was great again to hear from him and Peter about this film. and, he answered my question, which was fantastic. And, at the end, he answered the final question. He was like, "Well, the real thing that I'm excited for is people to watch this film." And then followed up with, "Do you want to watch it?" And we were like,
Maybe
"Oh!"
maybe we should let you watch it. Yeah.
And I thought, there was a part of me that thought that was gonna happen, but I didn't wanna, again, jinx it because you don't wanna be that person. And then, yeah, we had to sign a lot of paperwork saying that we won't talk about the film, and then we got to watch Superman in
You
its
had to sign
entirety.
more NDAs for watching the film than you did if you just wouldn't sue Warner Brothers for
Well, I think so.
dying earlier that
I
day.
think there was just one for the zip wire for the watching of the film. Like, I had to do so much more, but I'm so glad because it was such a fun way to end that Superman week of being in London by getting to watch that film and then watching it so many times after that when the film had finally been released. Because again, yes, we've always been very, very open with the fact that we are Superman fanboys. We love this character. We want to see him do well. But to be able to do that so openly now with this film that we love so much and to keep watching it over the summer. I forget how many times I did watch it now, but how many times was it for you, Derek?
In theaters?
In theaters?
I got to 14. I got to 13 and was like, I'm done, and then I was like, I can't end on 13. There's
Bad
a
number.
reason there's not a 13th floor in a building. I can't end there.
Exactly.
So I did manage 14, but that was my cutoff. Yeah.
It's fine, but I mean, but to be in the cinema and witness so many different audiences fall in love with this film and come back to this character that's been around for so long. And it just felt like such a great time to be, these Superman fans that have grown up with this character and seen so many different variations on the story. It was great for us to, again, to have that summer. And I'm not over
Absolutely.
it at all.
No,
And I don't think I will
no,
be
I'm
for
not.
some very long time.
No,
But
and when it's gonna be moments that as a Superman fan, as ambassadors, as we like to call ourselves, we we're gonna remember so many aspects of this. So what when you look back at this summer, what's the one thing? I mean, you're gonna remember a lot of it, obviously, but what's the one thing where that was kind of the pinch me? Was it you on the red carpet? Like what was it for you that was very much just this
the red
I
carpet
surreal
was
moment?
fantastic. Don't get me wrong. That's always a fun moment, and just walking around and seeing people who were there that day and hanging around in Leicester Square waiting to go into the theatre. Um, just literally walking the red carpet and seeing James Gunn in front of me just a few feet ahead.
Yeah. You sent me a
Um,
video while you were on it. You're like, "Oh, there's James
oh,
sitting behind me."
there's James Gunn
Yeah.
behind me. Trying not to freak out. I think one of the biggest moments for me as, that notice me senpai moment is when my trailer reaction video got shared by James.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was for me, I I love saying thank you to people. It is my absolute favorite thing to do. No matter if it's a good meal or, someone's been done that extra step to make sure that your experience is really memorable. I've not made reaction videos for a while, and I had to for this Superman trailer. I thought I had to. And I shared it, and it got to the eyes of Mr. James Gunn, and he shared it to his stories. And I was gently awoken in the middle of the night by the wonderful girlfriend of Steel because you text her.
Because
Luckily,
I
she
woke
was
up the
up.
girlfriend because
You
I woke
did.
up the girlfriend.
She was already up. Now, let me get this right. We were in different countries at the time.
Yeah.
We weren't all in
Yeah.
the same room.
Yeah, we were
Um,
not together.
but yes, I was told to wake up, and then you hear those fateful whines. Don't panic,
Yeah.
but and
Nobody's hurt.
nobody's
Nothing's
hurt,
wrong. Yeah.
but go to your Instagram and yes, yeah, James Gunn commented on my reaction video and then shared it to his stories. And that was enough for me. Honestly, I mean, that was more than enough for him to know that I was thankful just for that trailer, even before I had seen the film. I mean, I don't think I've had chance for him to hear my thoughts afterwards. Maybe he will one day. Who knows? Anything is possible. But having him just know that I was happy with the trailer, that I know that he worked so hard to get just right, was enough for me. So, everything else, like with this Superman journey that I've been on now for some time, it was just a wonderful bonus, and I I couldn't really consider that to be wages for being a Superman fan because I've never done this to get anything out of it. I've just it's sharing our love for this character that has given us so many enjoyment over the years, whether it be from relaxing with a story or a film or finding friends through a TV show. That is my payment, is people enjoying Superman. That's why I love doing this. But that one particular moment for sure was like, that happened. I am that giddy schoolboy all over again, and everything else was just an absolute bonus that makes me smile even thinking of it. So thank you for asking me that delicious question, Derek.
Sure.
Now
Happy
let's
to.
get to your summer because that
Uh,
was just as exciting.
it has been an absolute whirlwind of a summer. I don't mean that lightly. I mean, it has been a phenomenal experience. I mean, not even the summer, but just starting this year off, you and I kind of sat down, I think back in January, maybe even December, and just kind of were like, where do we want to see ourselves in the next 6, 8, 10 months? You know, where do we how do we want to move forward with such an important this film coming out and so many other aspects around this character. I I'm not gonna say we made like a vision board, like, that wasn't really what it was, but it was
It
very
wasn't
much,
far off. It wasn't far off.
it was kind of a challenge to each other of what you wanted to do and what I wanted to do and how we wanted to get there, and I'm pretty happy to say I need to go back and listen, but I feel like we got pretty well spot on where we wanted to be and what we wanted to do and how we wanted to interact with Superman this year.
It was just that again, it's just that it's using our platforms and using our voice and our love to get the message out there, like saying, "Don't forget, there's a film coming out. Get to the cinemas and see this film for the right reasons." So that was always one of our main goals, but to for us to want to be a part of that process, that's what we wanted to be a part of. Us as fans of Superman and the fact that we've done this now for so long, we were like, we kind of it's not that we need to be there, but we want to be there. We want Superman to know that we are there
Yeah.
waving his banner. And again, we made our goals and we stuck to them. There were moments when we thought it wasn't gonna happen, and but we were still excited at the end of the day for a film to come out because we were going to see it no matter what. Yeah, it's been an interesting year, hard work
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
always. That's always been the consistent, and we've always said, that the harder we work, the luckier we get.
That's
But
right.
you had a fantastic year, so let's
Well,
talk about some of your highlights.
it starting early off, you and I collaborating and getting to do work with the Siegel and Schuster Society out of Cleveland and getting to do their podcast, which I know we're due for to do a new episode of, but I'm also due
Yes.
to do a new House of L. So this is this took precedent. But getting to collaborate with that fantastic organization and everybody there, Valentino and Samantha and all of them has just been very fulfilling to me in the smallest way to give something back to Jerry and Joe, who have given you and I so much over these last nearly 9 decades. But you know, for us, for the 4 decades we've been around for Superman, to get to play in that sandbox a little bit was very meaningful to me, and it was not something we did to wanna get anything out of anything, like, it was just, you know, they've worked so hard to get these statues fully realized. I'm so happy to say that they are now, you know, there, in Tribute Plaza there in Cleveland, and getting to use our I'm not gonna say talents, but the things we were already doing,
Yes.
your talents, my whatever, um
Stop.
to get to work together and do a show for them has meant a lot to me, not only to for them, but also with you.
It felt like a wonderful opportunity, and again,
It
honored
was
is
kinda one of those make sense thing, like, it just clicked. It was like,
yeah.
why
Why
wasn't
aren't we
this a
doing this
thing that was
already?
already
So yeah,
happening?
we're doing
Yeah.
like we're talking so much about Superman and this
Right.
campaign. Let's record our voices and share that with the world. And again, when we had the initial meetings with some of the heroes from the society, talking about how we can help in any way at all, just to get the word out there. That, in a way, was enough for me just to be accepted into a conversation for Jerry and Joe, these two wonderful, wonderful souls that have given us and the world of comics so much to be in essentially, the room where it happened, as it were.
Right.
It's for us
Right.
to talk about them in such a positive light and to share their story just a little bit because it's a big story. I've still got my copies always by my side. I've always got this to talk about because it is a very, very long story that the boys had. But to be asked to
And
help
it's not over.
with you, it's
That's
not
the
over.
fantastic
That's the
thing,
thing.
that it'll
I
it'll
don't think
never
it
be
ever
over.
will be.
Yeah.
But we got to speak with them and join forces, as it were, and talk with the society, talk with artists. And again, to see everybody there at the unveiling of the statues, to hear the world cheer for Jerry and Joe and for Superman was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. And again, it couldn't have come at a more perfect time. There were risks that that wasn't going to happen this year, or it was, with paperwork, it might get pushed back to a later date. It was like, no, it needs to either happen this year. If it's not this year, it would have to be 2038 for a century later. But for 2038, I'm guessing they're going to plan something even bigger and even
Oh,
better.
sure. Sure.
So yeah, we
Um,
we we had that. That was a
had that,
fantastic
and in
part
the
of our
midst of
lives.
that happening, we were also planning, to do this premiere for the city of Cleveland to watch the film, on opening night. And that was something you and I worked really hard on. Unfortunately, you didn't
I
get
couldn't
to
get
make the
out.
journey
Nope.
overseas because you had so many exciting journeys of your own happening with the release of the film. But um, my guys, as they always do, stepped up.
Yes.
I can't say enough about Graham and Jason and Jason and Tucker and Troy and Robin and Frank that all came that always whenever I say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do some stupid idea that nobody's tried before and nobody's thought would be a good idea, but I'm gonna think it's a good idea. And I don't know why, after listening to my voice for the last 20 years, these guys who all have become my greatest friends because of this podcast are always like, "Let's do it." At some point, I'm gonna disappoint them. I don't know when, but, it so far has not
You
happened
will not.
yet. It's my goal to disappoint them. That's what I'm trying to do in life. So we set out for Cleveland, to we were going to the Sequel Schuster Society in conjunction with the Cleveland Public Library. We're gonna do this phenomenal Heroes Homecoming weekend with all these guests and events for kids and writers, Superman writers from the world of DC, so many that have ties to Cleveland, just like, our boy Superman does with Jerry and Joe. So we were gonna do the movie on Friday night, and then this, Saturday, event, that took place, around the city, which to walk from, where the public library is to where, the tower, as it's called, where everything else was held, you're literally walking the downtown streets of Metropolis to go back and forth from these events that were used in the film, because that's that backdrop for Metropolis and the film, where Gunn wanted to pay tribute, to Cleveland, the birthplace of Superman. So, we get into planning all that, and then lo and behold, I get an email, that's like, "Hey, you wanna come to the premiere? You wanna come to Los Angeles?" Which I'm always like, "This is a prank." Um, the next thing I know, I'm standing on the red carpet in Los Angeles at the world premiere of Superman, and much like you, there's James Gunn, there's David, there's Rachel, and pinch me does not enter into it for me. That was I've been to things like that before, obviously not anything that has been as meaningful to me as
Yes.
this movie, as this experience was. Um, I feel so blessed to have been there. I will, much like you, I love being able to say thank you. I was raised to say thank you, and I was raised that if somebody bumped into me, I apologize. That's kinda that's my mentality on most things. Probably gets me walked on a whole lot more than it should, but I feel so blessed to have had not just that experience, because I know it's hard to not be like, "Look at me, look what I got to do," and that's not the
Can't do
case at
that. We
all.
physically can't.
That's not me. That's just not
No.
like, I had imposter syndrome the whole time standing on the red carpet. I was like, "There are other people who have written for this character in more capacities than I have, my short time at DC, that have gotten to do way more things that should deserve to be standing here, instead of me." But at the same time, I was like, "I'm on the red carpet for
You are.
Superman,"
You FaceTimed me
I
a
was
couple of
so
times, once from your hotel, and
I
then you were
did.
just walking up and down the strip as they
Mhm.
were preparing the red carpet. Then I was just really excited because, like, I've actually been on the same sidewalk that Derek is now walking on.
Right.
For me,
Right.
that was a big deal. But
Yeah.
to be able to talk to you a little bit and hear your thoughts and worries about going into the screening, and just you making sure that you knew that you had to be there. It wasn't that imposter syndrome rather in you. I had to be that person that says, "No, you deserve to be there," because you needed to hear it from somebody else. The voice in your head that tells you that you are meant to be there was whispering to you, whereas it needed to be shouting. So I'm
Well,
glad that you
honestly, my Jiminy Cricket is the voice of Luke Bugg. Like, my inner thoughts, not
and
the
there's
other
my
voices I have in my head that the meds take care of, but my
that's
inner
it.
Jiminy Cricket is Luke Bugg.
That's the cosplay for next time as well. But I needed to make sure that you were told to be there, and I knew you weren't going to back out because you were already there, but I needed you to realize that it was meant to be in that moment. I know we don't really believe in sort of fate and kismet, as it were, but we believe in the hard work that we put in, and we don't often take the gratitude, or as we said, the wages, as it were, because there are no wages. There are just these magical moments that we wouldn't always get, and that's why they will be, and always will be, pinch me moments for us, because we'll never get over it. We've had some amazing moments whilst talking about our love for Superman. So I'm grateful for the time that you took to give me a little phone call and show me some behind the scenes. I know LA can get very warm and not very comfortable, but you looked
That red
fantastic.
carpet that red carpet cooked. We cooked
It
alive on
looked
that red carpet.
warm,
It
but
was
you were
very warm.
fantastic. You were representing. You were cool, you were collected, but you were excited. You could tell that you were supposed to be there in that moment, not meant to be there. And you had some brilliant interactions. You got some great photographs. You were just walking past, I would consider Superman royalty. And they were all stopping
Absolutely.
to enjoy the moment and listen to the thanks that you were giving and talk about the character. And as you are always working, you're like, let's have a quick interview on the red carpet. Let's talk. And that's the journalist in you that I adore. That is the Clark Kent mode where, not necessarily Clark writing about himself as Superman, but Derek writing and reporting for Superman. And that is one of the most beautiful things that I got to witness this summer, apart from the film. And then when you, of course, finally got to see it and we got to talk about it, that was
Yeah.
just as exciting.
I had to
But
wake you up again. I had to go
yes, and
out,
that was
I
I
had to
was fine
immediately
with
go
that.
out and call you because I was like, "I gotta talk to somebody who's seen it at this
And
point."
that's fine, because yeah, those signatures, those when we say we can't talk about it, we mean we can't talk about it. But, if it's between friends, it's fine. But
We weren't promoting it.
we weren't. But again,
And
and
then
then it
and
it
then
didn't stop. It didn't stop for
right, and
you
then
after that.
I left Los Angeles and went to Cleveland, and so I'm standing a few days later, I'm standing in front of a sold out audience for that the House of L and Cleveland, the Siegel and Schuster Society have put on, together at this historic theater, in the theater district of Cleveland, and
It's gorgeous. Such a gorgeous.
I've met new friends. Our buddy Kevin, who is now going to be as much in the shoe crew as you and the rest of the guys. He literally came up from Atlanta because he's listened to the podcast and wanted to see the movie with us, so he came up, and now I've got to hang out with him a few times because we went from that, we went to Salute to Smallville, got to host that, and he came to that, and then we went to Metropolis. I've never been to Metropolis. I've never gotten to go to the statue before and tour the museum that Morgan and Adam have, and so I was excited about to do that. I I owe so many things in my professional life, and so many things in my personal life too, but everything in my professional life I owe to not only Superman but to Smallville. Because that's where I got really my start in doing any of this was just in a college, dorm room talking about Smallville every week. And then, flash forward 20 years and I'm standing introducing the cast on stage in Chicago a few weeks ago. And that's as surreal to me as standing in Los Angeles on the red carpet.
That
Just from a professional standpoint.
hearing that and seeing those photographs and hearing about your time there was just me being the most proudest, like, almost big brother moment, whatever you wanna call it. I was seeing you there, not just getting a photograph with the cast, but the cast acknowledging you, thanking you for your support, thanking you for doing what you've done over the decades for the show simply because the fact that you loved it and will always love it so much. So to see you being recognized by these people that we've both grown up watching time and time again on TV screens, it meant so much for me to be able to say, I know that guy. This guy deserves it. I'm so unbelievably stinking proud of you right now to be in their company. I was like, that's the moment again that you deserve to be there. To have that moment with them, to be on stage, to be able to ask them fantastic questions, to be able to have presence on that stage and not just be a giggling fan that I always worry about in those situations that is what we're going to melt into because
Well, I
we
go do
need
that privately.
that's
You
it.
don't do that. You,
That's
you learned that? That's
just
an
go
old theater
backstage,
trick. I'll
have a little
teach you that.
giggle,
Yeah,
just have a
yeah,
little
yeah,
giggle, and
yeah.
but then to not only that, I think that is what pushes us forward to want to do these things, but to agree to do these things and worry about the effects afterwards because we know that we can step up to the plate when needed. Look at that for an American sports
There
saying.
you
Look at
go.
me
Look
doing
at
my
that.
homework. But to see you there and you're
I'll
doing
make a
that,
cricket reference and we'll even it out.
I'll be very proud if you can. But seeing you there with, let's say, the Smallville cast, with so many adoring fans enjoying that moment, and it not just being another, come see the stars from TV, join a queue, sign something, get a photograph, and go off. You make that experience for the whole weekend, and it's why it's coming back, and why they're going to be doing more things in the future, and they're going to need to have you there for it because they know now that I think you and Shu are a part of the Smallville universe. You can't have one now without the other. So I know you're a fan of hard work. I hope that you continue to be pushed to your absolute limits.
The views of Luke Bugg do not represent any of Derek Russell or the House of L. Let me preface that. I'll say,
No,
and
it's
I and
just
I, and I,
opinions.
and I can't leave out my co-host Craig Byrne of Krypton Side, who also I would not have been out there without him, and did a phenomenal job as well. I'm looking forward to getting to do that again for Creation Entertainment, and then going to Metropolis and getting to be in the Superman's hometown, as it were, and see the statue. And you've been there before. Like I said, I've never been, so getting to go around and visit. I didn't know everything was going to be closed on a Monday when we went, but
I didn't know that
uh,
either. I
yeah.
landed in Metropolis on a Sunday night to a town that had no taxis or rent a
Where did
cars.
you? That's a question I meant to ask you after driving there the other day. Where did you fly into and then go to from
So
there?
into O'Hare and then O'Hare.
You flew into Chicago. That's so far away. Oh my gosh. Okay, I had no idea.
And
Yeah, that's
and
a
then
long piece from Chicago.
flew into, tiny little town, but I loved every moment because it felt
So you connected. So there
yes.
was like a regional flight from there.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I was stuck in O'Hare for about for the first time there, about 9 hours because I missed my connecting flight, and there was like they've only got like 2 a day. But yeah, no taxis, no Ubers, nothing back then. But I made good friends with a wonderful fellow called Chad from Metropolis who picked me up from the airport and before dropping me off at my hotel, took me to see the statue in the middle of the night, still lit up and like looking majestic. And I was like, this is Metropolis. This is definitely the Superman celebration. But yeah, then walk around the town the next day and I was like, there was a coffee shop, couple of souvenir type shops and the Superman
Mhm.
Museum. Beautiful place. It has 2 busy events of the year. One's the Superman celebration, and the other one, I think, is a quilt festival where they get some serious, like, quilt enthusiasts in town to show off their blankets. But loved it. Went back 2 years. I would like to go back. It was a beautiful little place, and, so much, again, love for Superman over that Superman celebration. And as you said, Morgan does such a fantastic job with that
Yeah.
museum. I
Yeah.
I I came with, I wanted to make sure that I could bring some unique items to be put in the museum so that I've always got something there. I think I brought her over some weird Superman merchandise and some Superman shoes that are still on display within the museum. But
Nice.
they've got a lot of love again for Superman and sharing that vast collection with the world.
We've certainly had some experiences this year. That's putting it mildly.
And it is, but it's brought us closest together. I
It
feel that
absolutely has brought us closer together, and
it's
I appreciate that more than most anything. And getting not only with you, but all the shoe guys that came to Cleveland, came to Chicago for Salute to Smallville, came to Metropolis, getting to hang out with them more than I and then the Jason and Jason, who I absolutely adore, came here and it just to hang out with me for a week, so I didn't have to go anywhere because we usually do a guys trip every year, and we did like 4 guys trips this year. Um, so it's been a crazy few months, and it's hard to believe the year's almost over now. Halloween's this week, and
I've tried journaling a little bit this year of the things that I've done, and it was hard to write it down, even just for the things that we've gotten up to. So I think I'm gonna take some time towards New Year and sort of in stepping into the new year, talking about what we've both done this year for the world of Superman. I know we are both avid collectors of our Daily Planet Superman journals, which are
yes,
still can be found from the tankmuseum.com.
order another box. I gave away so many of those this summer.
I've got when they do such an absolute bargain where it's like what, like $4 a book,
Right,
you have to get them
right.
and give them as gifts. But I've got one of these filled up with most of my planning for my trips to London this year. So it's got all the things that I got up and to and did and experienced. And
I don't know if anybody's really seen I haven't seen this one shared around just a whole lot, and
I've seen a few. It's the bookmarks that
yeah,
I love for it.
it's the bookmarks in it, that I absolutely love, but it's yeah, Spiral Bound, Daily Planet, and, I've like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things
that's
this year. Seeing so much Daily Planet merchandise has been
right, which
delightful.
I am a sucker for, obviously. So, that
Whether it be
is
pins or notebooks or journals or pens,
yeah.
it's like this
I
is
meant
it.
to send you last night. I bought a new desk that's coming tomorrow, and I wanted a desk. I've never had a desk mat before, and I knew there was one for the new movie, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. Paladone actually put it out, I think.
Yes.
Um, but I can't seem to locate one in the U.S. anywhere. There's a Daily Planet one that I believe comes out in January. That looks HMV has it on their website, and I
Okay,
didn't get
that's
to send
coming
you a
to you then.
link last night, but
We'll make that happen.
I'll find it for you. But
We're
it
making
looks
that happen.
it's the front page of the planet,
Oh,
and it looks phenomenal with the logo on it.
I
So
ordered one at the beginning of the summer and, did not look at the measurements at all, and it turned
oh,
up and
that's not good. That's not good
it
at
turned
all.
out like it was like a face cloth. It was not going to protect
It's a
anything but dust.
desk mat for ants.
It was essentially,
Um,
yes. But no, yeah, it's been a fantastic year, and it's one filled with wonderful memories and just wonderful. It felt like many of the moments were meant to be for us. What
mhm.
not really been working towards because we've not really had a mindset or a goal. Yes, we had that chat at the beginning of the year where we wanted to try and do our best just to
Just
promote
for
the
us.
release of the film, just for us
Yeah,
to
just
talk
for
about
us.
Superman, to give us another reason to justify our collecting habits. That's- because we didn't want to miss out on any of the popcorn
Is that
boxes
what
or
all
any.
this is? Just justification so we don't feel guilty? Is that all
I'm
this?
sure there's some underlying mentality
No,
there
well,
behind
that's
it.
you know what? That's for therapy. That's not for this conversation.
Yes,
That's for
that's and again, we'll find the time and the money for that on another episode. But it's just been well, we can make it. We can make an angle. We can claim that somehow back.
yeah, yeah.
But it's again, it's just our love for the character, our love for talking about the things that bring us so much joy. I've learned that over the years that when we talk with each other or talk with new people, when you find that light inside somebody that they want to talk about, they just become so animated and so alive that it's made us want to do that more. And I keep saying it happens where I go into podcast mode, not necessarily interview mode, but I'll start asking questions to people now when I'm at the day job, when I'm speaking with somebody new about an aspect of their life that I've gained from doing the podcast. This love for not only being nosy, as it
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
but asking people why the thing that they love doing is it brings them so much joy because I want to know more of that. And that's led me on a journey this year where I've just been reading nonstop and learning about new things about so many different parts of life. And it comes down to the fact what brings us joy and for us, it's always been Superman that's done that so effortlessly, whether it be the good, the bad, or sometimes the ugly. So that's why this year definitely has been one that will stand out as one of the most memorable and enjoyable years of my life.
Same here. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's still pinch me. Even now weeks, months after the fact
Yeah.
of some of these things, but it's been an experience that I will not soon forget and that I don't take lightly at all because it has all meant so much to me professionally and personally. And I don't mean that to sound any less sincere than I could possibly intend for it to. I mean that just from the bottom of my heart. Working with you, working with my friends on this side with the podcast, and getting to be just engrossed in Superman, as it were, for the past few months has been uh, a great distraction from how just awful things are everywhere else right now. It was a fantastic escape into aspects of my childhood and things that I grew up loving so much. I find it hilarious now because we're of an age now where people who are in top marketing jobs and development jobs and stuff like that are our age, so they're going back to the well of things that we loved as kids, and we're seeing so much of that, and that's why things are so costly now because it's just like, hey, there's Back to the Future Hey Dude shoes now, and like it's stuff like that. I'm like, I can't
Yes.
afford all of these things, and I'm so thankful when stuff gets sent to us to review and talk about because that makes me that makes me feel like we're doing something right.
Yes.
I just this
Goonies Lego,
morning
Goonies Lego, Goonies Lego.
Goonies like I just this morning got the
Oh,
Ferris Wheel
hello.
Press sent over. I got the both of those, and I'm so excited to crack those open and
They
do a
I
unboxing video.
tried writing thank you letters with those, but I was just I've got one done that I have done that I hope to hand deliver to somebody very soon, but they write just so beautifully that you just almost get lost in the ink,
Yeah,
as it were.
yeah.
I've not had a fountain pen since school, and there's just something so exquisite about writing with a fountain pen. Get some very nice thick paper and just enjoy whatever you want to write because those fountain pens are sublime.
And if you are looking to get those, I will be doing more post on that on Instagram, but you can go over to their website, ferriswheelpress.com, I believe,
Mhm.
and House of L10, House of L10, and you can get a discount code there to get your own set. So those are awesome. They've got a few more. They've got like a Lois Lane one. There's a fourth one, I think. There's 4 total. I was so happy they sent over 2. So, yeah, I've got some thank you letters I need to be writing for myself. I'm gonna be doing a few of those on that Daily Planet, letterhead
That's it. I'm
too.
gonna take a week off work
So
in December and just write thank you letters for all the experiences
yeah,
that we've had this year.
yeah. Luke, tell everybody where they can find you.
Just search for the Geek of Still or the Podcast of Still. You will find me. I took not really sort of some time off from the socials, but I was enjoying sitting back and enjoying the world, enjoy Superman. But I'm back now with a big passion. My other little side hustle, as it were, is the Portsmouth Comic Con podcast. That's a Comic Con that is very close to my heart, and I've started today recording new episodes because
Nice.
they are back in May of next year, and I'm trying my hardest to have a very large DC Comics and Superman presence there next year.
Very
I've
cool.
taken a few eBay orders this week for lots and lots of Superman comics to give out to people for the first 100 or so people that are in the queue next year. So that should
You're
be fun.
you're trying to do something big with Superman comics,
Who
I
thinks?
saw.
Who thinks that way?
What are you
I
trying
want
to
to.
collect not everything ever,
Not
but
everything, but I've been going through my collection, and I wanted pretty much every Superman graphic novel or collection of books that have been released. And I thought to myself, it's not that hard to do. Then started looking into the logistics, and I should be finished in about a year and a half. I've
well, that's
budgeted.
the thing. Like, there's so many little ones too that aren't even just the collected,
No, see, that's where I was trying to.
like all these tiny ones that just
Oh, see, they're the ones that I've been going. Oh,
I
there's Cow there.
know.
So they count if it's not paper. If it's not a paper cover, if it's clearly thicker and it's almost a magazine, to me that class is either a large book or a small book. Trying to justify that has been tricky because there have been some bumper comics. Some of their centenary issues were
Right.
thicker. I tried going back and getting every 100th issue at one point. That was an expensive project, but the
I bet it
graphic
was.
novels is doable. I was at a toy fair a few weeks ago, and there was a guy selling comics for 75p a piece, which is about a
Ooh.
buck. And I was like, okay, you've got a good selection here. And again, podcast mode. He's got all the collections that he wants to collect, so he's just getting rid of everything else that he's collected over the years. And I was like, right, here's my card, here's my phone number, here's my email. Let's make a deal, and we're meeting up soon to sort out some of those comics. But yeah, I would like every graphic novel. I've seen some fantastic collections out there. A few of our mutual followers have got a fantastic collection, and they've advised me on what not to do.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
variants are always a very risky territory. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that I'm taking on as one of the many side projects is collecting all those graphic novels.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I've started
Yeah.
it now, so I can't really finish, and I've also
No,
told it to the world, so
yeah. Yeah.
it
You
has to happen
can't
now.
go back on it now.
So yeah, just
Uh
search for The Geek of Steel, and that's where you'll find me.
Very nice. As for us, you can find us anywhere at Superhouse of L on the socials. We're at superhouseofl.com on the internet. You can subscribe to the House of L podcast wherever you listen. We would love it if you're subscribing to leave a rating and review, be it Spotify or Apple or iHeart, wherever you're listening. We really appreciate it. And of course, you can always email us mail at superhouseofl.com and Patreon. We are on patreon.com/superhouseofl. I have neglected our faithful Patreon followers, but Tim is setting his sights on Patreon here in the next week or two, and we are going to be releasing some fun stuff that I'm excited about. So if you're not already, join us over at patreon.com. You get some new stuff. We've got new T-shirts coming.
Oh,
I'm
I've seen
really
them.
excited about that. I've showed them
Ooh,
to Luke, and
yes.
I haven't done a new T-shirt in at least a decade. The last one were
It's
the
nice.
classic Shield ones. So these are near and dear to my heart because they're kind of what I wear all the time anyway. So probably
Very
yeah, I'm
nice.
wearing one right now under this hoodie. So I'm excited to I'm hoping one of those gets here this week to test out and make sure they're good for release. But you'll be hearing more about that, and Patreon will get
Good stuff.
exclusive first crack
Shout
at
out
that.
to Tim as well. absolute wonderful human being that I've
Just
enjoyed becoming friends with over the last couple of years, thanks to you. An absolute gentleman
he
and
is.
making the world a better place.
He is. He does. He makes my world a better place. I selfishly, but he is an incredible human being. House of L would not still be operating in its 20th year if it weren't for him. Mostly because he cattle prods me into making new episodes and stuff. But
Thanks,
he,
Tim.
well, it's just it's another one of those just weird things of all the people that I've met through the show and the opportunities and everything, and you, and it's like he listened. He's so mad that we're talking about him right now, but I think he started listening to the podcast when he was 9 years old, which A, shouldn't have been a thing that happened, but B, in and of itself. But, it's just weird. It's just really odd to have met so many people through this show, through Smallville, through Superman in general, and to be lifelong friends with so many of you for that, and he's like my little brother now, and I really appreciate him always stepping in and helping keep this thing alive in its 20th year. We'll see if it makes it to,
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
20. I'll be 60, Luke.
That's fine. We'll have the internet by then. Be
Yeah,
fine.
and then I will be like Grandpa Simpson on the hill. Gather round, children. One time I went to the premiere of the movie.
Shaking her red carpet. What's one of those, Grandpa?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Well, we're not gonna live to see 60. Anyway, so
yes. Anyway,
yeah, it's back to the depressing stuff. All right, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We are going to be back in the next few days. I've got a new episode back for season 3 of Smallville coming. Steve and I will be discussing Truth and Memoria from season 3. Frank and I had a wonderful chat with Philip Kennedy Johnson, Superman writer in Cleveland this summer. And going to be releasing that episode here in the next few days. So a lot more episodes coming from the House of L feed. Make sure you are subscribed and tune in. And we will see you guys next time.
take care.